what's going on, guys? This is Brant with CPC Bodybuilding, the best channel in men's classic physique. Today, I've got classic pro Jordan Strickland joining me to preview this week's Florida Pro, the first ever Florida Pro in men's classic physique. Jordan, it's great to have you on, brother.
What's up, brother? Good to be here. Like I said, been following your page for a while, and you do a very good job of networking things and giving the most information on any classic physique page that I've seen. And it's really good following you. It keeps me up to date with everything, and I always know you're like the second or third person in my search bar on Instagram because I always know to just click on that if I need to go check something out for a show. So it's good to be on here, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you on too, brother. So we got the Florida Pro, the first ever one, and got Jordan to give his expertise and his picks here for the show. So I'll be attending this one in person, guys. So if you guys see me around, make sure you say what's up. But we're going to go ahead and go through the lineup, the show details, and all that good stuff. But before we do, want to make sure to give Jordan a huge shout out. You can find him here on Instagram. It's jstrickfitness. Jordan, any shout outs you want to give to sponsors, people back home, just any codes you want to plug or anything?
Yeah, so as far as supplement sponsors go, I'm sponsored by EHB Labs. I've been with them now for a good 5-6 years. My code is Strickland10, and they have every supplement you can think of as far as, your basic level bodybuilding stuff. Their whey protein, their very famous OxyShred, which is a fat burner that I take on prep, our Beyond BCAs, and lots more. And then Jed North, wearing that right now, always. That is Strickland 15, and that's my clothing sponsor. I've been with those guys pretty much since I've been in the fitness industry, like 8 years. Amazing family of people and a really good group of guys and girls, and their clothing speaks for itself. Lots and lots of guys are wearing it in the industry right now, and there's a reason behind that.
All right. So make sure you guys support him by buying from his sponsors using his codes, and also give him a follow here on Instagram. It's jstrickfitness again. So without further ado, we will jump into this lineup. So we got the Florida Pro. A couple of these guys are scratches, but pretty awesome lineup here for you guys. So we got Aaron Aramini from Canada, Jason Brown making his return from the USA, Jarrett Crew also coming back from Atlanta where he took second place. You got Ulysses de Andrade from Brazil, Brino Freire from Brazil, who's making his pro debut, Jeff Hallenbeck out of the USA, Mafuz Hawit from Honduras, Keith Holmes from the USA, David Camphy also from the United States, Yosef Kariman from the USA, Alex Maldonado from the USA, Dion Merrill from the USA, Carlo Michelini from Italy, and Rob Van Sant also out of the USA. So a heavily American lineup, but we do have some guys from Brazil, Italy, got a Canadian guy, so pretty exciting lineup here. In terms of the event schedule, so I'm here on IFBB Pro League FloridaPro.com/event schedule. You guys can just find this on IFBBPro.com. But if you guys want to find the schedule here, it says pro events start at 12 p.m. depending on NPC event ending time. It's not going to start before noon Eastern, so that's what you guys need to know. And classic physique guys are going to go on second, right after men's bodybuilding, which is a super small division based on the lineup. So classic guys should go on sometime, if I had to guess, between 12:15 and 12:45 Eastern on Saturday. So that's what you guys need to know. No times yet for finals, but stay tuned. I'll post about it. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the athletes. So we got Aaron Aramini out of Canada. Now this is a week out, and I'm a huge fan of Aaron. Jordan, just looking at these updates that Aaron posted recently, what are your thoughts
that's
on
a good shot? Yeah, that's a good shot. Go back to the one before. Yeah, that's a sick pose. He looks good there. He's definitely conditioned, that's for sure. I can't tell. Do you know how tall this guy is?
I want to say Aaron, I know you're watching this. I think I want to say he's like 5'9", maybe 5'10".
Okay, yeah. That just kind of gives, that perspective of size when you think of, because you can look at a ton of different, like guys think I'm like 5'7", and I'm 6 foot, almost 6'1".
Yeah.
So it's like on Instagram, everybody thinks I'm like 5'7", so it's hard to like interpret that. He's super conditioned. He's got good structure and good shape.
Yeah, man, he's one of those guys who just never misses the mark with the condition. The midsection is just so defined and just cut out, dug out.
He's super tight, yeah.
Yeah, I think he could do pretty well, man. He was first call out at Tupelo last year actually. So, he's shown that he can really step up to the plate and do well, when it matters. And I
What
think
did
Aaron can do pretty well here.
what did he place at Tupelo?
I think he finished, I want to say it was seventh place,
Yeah,
but he was in that first call out. I can't remember how big the call out was, but it was 6 to 8 guys. And I
yeah,
mean,
that
they
was
were
a
pretty
pretty good
good
show.
big on that one. So,
Yeah, that was a pretty good show too. That's a good lineup to be top 7 in.
yeah. So that's Aaron Aramini out of Canada. Next up, we got Jason Brown. So Jason is probably the most accomplished bodybuilder in this lineup in terms of Olympia appearances. He's competed
Wow.
at the Arnold Classic. This guy's got one of the best backs. Matter
Yeah,
of fact, posterior chains in all classic. What do you think of
yeah,
these, man?
yeah. That's what I was about to say. His posterior change ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, great shape. I'd love. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him on stage. He's dug out too. I wish. Does he have any back doubles on there? Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got
that
great
shot's
stuff.
nasty, dude.
Yeah, that pose for him is perfect. That's he's got good waist to lat ratios. Looks like he's got pretty big arms with some good shape to them as well. Waist is really tight, especially with his back like that.
Dude, yeah, he's one of the few guys who can actually like pull off a favorite classic where he's not facing the
Yep,
judges.
yep. That's hard to do too. I mean, a lot of guys try that, and it's just especially with like the Arnold pose and stuff like that, and like that pose he's hitting right there. That's a hard pose to hit correctly and open up your left lat too. Like it's easy to open up your dominant lat you're posing with, but that left lat that's behind, that's really hard to open up, and he's hitting that shot really good. I mean, I'm not seeing the rest of the lineup yet, but just from seeing him, I don't see how he's not top 5.
Yeah, he's spectacular, man. Truly one of the hardest workers like
Wow.
that I know of, man. Like just knowing what his day job is and then him competing at this high of a level, like this guy's an absolute workhorse. So I got
Yeah.
no doubt that
He
Jason's
he
gonna
looks
be.
he looks like a taller guy.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember because the last time I saw him was like a year and a half ago at the Arnold, and I mean, he's definitely taller than me, and I'm 5'8", so
That
uh,
right there is at the Arnold, right?
yeah,
Yeah. He looks incredible. Conditioning's on point from what I can see.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
he looks great. Big
yeah,
shoulders too. Big shoulder, like overpowering shoulders.
yeah. So that's Jason Brown. Next up, we got Jarrett Crew. So Jarrett finished second in Atlanta, and Jordan, you were at that show, weren't you?
Yeah, so Atlanta was the second show I was supposed to compete in after Orlando. That was before the health issues came up, and I had to call out. Luckily, they let me out of that show just due to, the obviously health issues behind it. And I was excited about this when I saw he was doing this to talk about this with you. The best, this is a bold statement, the best posing routine I've ever seen in person by a landslide. He absolutely, it was extremely like emotional, electric, but also had the right poses, the right flow. It wasn't like emotional and electric in the sense of like just kind of doing whatever he wants. He made it work really, really well, and just his smoothness and transitions were incredible. So if anything, watch out for this guy's posing routine because it will be fire. I can promise you that. Like this dude is an entertainer to say the least, and he looked great. He definitely. I don't know. Was Atlanta his pro debut?
No, I think his pro debut was back in like 2021, maybe. I think it was like
Okay, so
Chicago, I
he's
want
done
to
a
say.
few pro shows.
Yeah, he's done a few. He's even done the Arnold Classic before. So
See, he when I for me in person from what I saw, he I mean, if I could give any critique to this guy, I guess it would just be some more density and size. He nailed his conditioning and stuff. I just feel he is a taller guy, so I mean, he could fill out his legs a little bit more. You see, like in that side shot. But the dude has a great physique, and the posing is just insane. And he nailed his conditioning this last show. He looks great here as well. And this looks like it's how many days? 5 days out. So
he's 5 days out. Yeah,
yeah, he's probably going to come in even fuller, even harder. And I mean, from where he's at right now, that's a good place to be.
yeah. Big fan of Jarek's physique. Like posing is crazy. That routine was just something, bro. It was just something.
Yeah, oh, man, it was so much fun to watch. Like I remember I was sitting there with Dom, my coach, me and Sarah, and we were all just like, "What was that? Like, what did we just watch?" Like, I feel like I'm at the Olympia right now. Like, it was incredible. It was incredible. Just a really really fun posing routine.
Yeah. So that is Jarrett Crew. Next up, we got Ulysses de Andrade from Brazil. Last time he stepped on a classic pro stage was 2021, fourth place at the Atlantic Coast that year. There aren't really a whole lot of updates. I mean, this is like North Americans from I think when he turned pro, and
When was that
this is
last? Yeah.
yeah, this is a recent one. So this was 4 days ago. So this would be just about a week out.
You got to watch out for those Brazilians, dude. They will show up and mess stuff up.
Yeah, you're
I
absolutely
mean,
right. This guy's got
from
good structure too.
yeah, from what I can see, I mean, obviously this isn't him necessarily hitting a pose, and it's a little easier for someone to look really good, taking a selfie. But I mean, I can't see this dude not looking fantastic. I mean, he's got great symmetry, great structure. His waist is super tight. He's definitely super conditioned, and he looks pretty dense. He looks pretty full here too. I don't know how long out that was, if it says, but he looks great right here. I mean, he looked great.
Yeah, it looks good at about a week out. Lines are crisp.
Yeah.
I mean, detail is certainly not going to be an issue for this guy. I'll just be intrigued to see what changes he's made in the past 3 years, because I mean, 3 years is an eternity in bodybuilding time. So,
Oh my God, yeah, that's lifetimes, lifetimes.
so that is Ulysses de Andrade. Next up, another Brazilian. This guy making his pro debut. This is Brino Freire. So, I believe he turned pro just about a year ago, and
Oh
the
yeah,
updates I've seen, this guy's really impressed me, man.
yeah, yeah. He looks great. So this is one of the guys when I was researching everybody before we started, um, there's some other posts on there you can really see how good his physique looks. He's yeah, just like his density and stuff. There was one. Go back to the top. Might have been yeah,
I mean,
just like seeing how hard and dense he is there. But his posing routine, like the one you were just posing, you can see the symmetry and structure of that guy. Like
mhm.
the posing routine, like he from what I can see, he looks like he's going to have a really really good shape, really good shape. That front double from like a side angle looks really really good.
Yeah, structurally looks pretty good. I would say, the only critique I would have is just maybe I think he could use more in the glutes and hams right there,
Yeah,
just on that back bicep.
yeah,
But
you could see it. You could see it a little bit in his side chest, a little bit more leg, but that front double looked nasty, and you can see that he's got some good strength. Like that right there, you can see that's a good
mhm.
shot for him.
Yeah, and to be able to hit a front double straight on, I mean, that just speaks for itself. Very few
Yeah,
people.
yeah. There's not many guys that are going to be able to do that in classic. No.
Yeah. So that is Brino Freire making his pro debut. Next up, we got Jeff Hallenbeck out of Ohio. So Jeff is a 2022 Olympian. He went to the Olympia that year by winning the Legion Pro. And Jeff's a guy who is really just solid, man. Just nails the fundamentals. Conditions always on point. Great detail, density. The
Density.
lines are crisp. Like just a really really fundamentally sound bodybuilder who works really hard. This is from RGV last week, and I think this was
So
probably
he just competed.
yeah, he just competed, and it wasn't his best showing. This was a pretty deep lineup, but Jeff's never placed outside of the first call out before, so um, I was a bit surprised, but at the same time, I do think Jeff is very very capable of making a turnaround and literally placing entirely differently on a
Yeah,
different
and
day.
I mean you do it right. I mean everything can change in a week. Everything can change in a week if you do it right. If you're already in good enough conditioning and good enough shape, and you're there, I mean, you think how much can change just in the span of 3 4 days of peak week. I mean, a lot can change in a week if you do it right. I mean, from like you said, like what I just saw with that posing routine. I mean, it looks like he's got great flow, good symmetry. He's hard, he's dense, he's conditioned. He just I can't tell fully from the video, but you're saying he just missed the mark a little bit.
I think it was just it was in this show, and this is not for anyone watching, this is not a critique to judging, it's just a reality. But different judges like different things. And there are some judges who tend to go for like the the structure guys. Some guys go more for condition. At this
Yeah.
show they went more for like the guys with the really superior structure, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And
Yeah,
Jeff has good structure, but there were some guys with great structure. I think that's really where he got beat
yeah,
here.
that was a good lineup. That was a good lineup. Really
Yeah.
stacked show.
But he's beaten guys with great structure before too, when the look's right. So I think Jeff can, he could definitely make some noise and definitely do really well here. So it's
From
Jeff
seeing
Howell.
that right there, I guess that's just that would be the only place I could really see like a little more conditioning coming in right there on the glutes and hams. From this angle, you might can see it a little better but from what I could see, front shot looks really good, really conditioned.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's Jeff Hallenbeck. Next up, we got Mahfouz Hawit. So Mahfouz competed last week at RGV and was not in that initial first call out. He was top 3 at Tupelo, just like Jeff was. And Mahfouz is very, very good, especially as a rookie, man. I look at him and I'm like, this guy looks like he's been competing as a pro
Yeah,
for a while.
he looks like he's got lots of muscle maturity. Yeah,
Yeah, detail I think is his biggest strength. He's really muscular, especially up top too. There's great delts and arms too.
yeah, definitely.
Condition is really, really on point too. Like I love these. I think this is like 8K, man. I love that they're
Yeah,
coming out now.
yeah. The bodybuilding videos are ridiculous. I mean, they're ridiculous now. The guys we have doing these kind of videos, it's just it make. But I mean, you see how big the sport's growing. It's just they know. It's just like any other sport. Everyone's starting to invest more in it. It's really starting to show, and it's really making it fun for this generation. Like really
Mhm.
making it fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he looks really good. He looks really good. I can see how other guys could maybe outshape him a little bit, but that shot's nasty. That shot, his side chest is beautiful. He looks like he's been doing pro shows for a hot minute, especially if you said he's a rookie. He definitely looks
yeah,
dense.
hmm
Yeah, he's
yeah.
got a
So
great shape.
Mahfouz Hawit. Next up, we've got. So this is. Let's see. This is Keith Holmes. So Keith is a Masters IFBB pro. I believe he's a taller guy. Like he looks pretty big
He
from
looks
these.
solid. Yeah,
The teacup pose is real nice on him. I think real good
yeah,
shot.
that is a good pose for him. Yeah, waist looks small, and it's not a lot of guys hit the abs down versus the
Hmm.
vacuum. That looks good on him. It's a strength for him from what I can see there. Like having his abs more crunched, it still makes his lats not look small, and he's got good structure to that. And he does a good job of because he doesn't seem to have like the biggest legs, obviously because he's probably a taller guy, but he does a good job here of hitting that pose to not show that and make it be very symmetrical with his upper.
Yeah, good arms, good delts too.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's a good
Wide.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's density right there. That's a really good back shot. Good, perfect pose too. He's hitting that excellent.
So that is Keith Holmes. Next up, we got David Camphy. So David Camphy he's definitely a bigger guy. He's going to probably be one of, if not the biggest guy in the lineup. So he's competed in a lot of the shows kind of throughout the South, like Florida. He's done Charlotte before, I know. And I think this front relax is a really good shot on him. What do you think, man?
It's a nasty shot. Yeah, that his midsection looks great. His lat insertions are just uh, big shoulders too and big arms. His structure's fantastic. Yeah, I could see him being a very big guy. You can tell from this picture that he's not small by any means. Love the midsection look on him. Like that pose in general has got to be one of his best poses. It's got to be, and I've not even seen another one. I mean, that's a strong pose.
Yeah, the half vacuum's kind of a nice touch. You don't see it a whole lot, but it's really good in this front relaxer here. I think it really highlights his structure nicely.
That's one of my favorite things is when a guy can hit a good like that's I've never been able to hit a vacuum like fully. But I can get like that half sometimes, but it's just like you don't see it the same way you see it as you do here until you get to that certain level of conditioning. And it's like this pose on him because he's so conditioned, he's hitting like kind of a vacuum, kind of crunching a little. That's a very, very good pose. I love when a guy can hit a good like half vacuum. It looks really good.
So that is David Camphy. Next up, we've got Yosef Karimian, and this is last year's Legion Pro Masters champ. He took fifth place at that show, and just to remind you, I think the entire top four in that show last year, if we look at this is the top four, the rest of the guys are actually this is the top six.
Yeah.
So if you look at all these guys that he placed behind at Legion last year, they've all punched their ticket to the Olympia since. So uh, Ruff, who's not competing at this year's Olympia, um, you got Darren Shurbayev from Kazakhstan,
Is
Logan
that
Frank,
Logan? Logan, yeah.
you got Kellen, and then Jorge Herrera, who just won last week. So this is the only guy in this picture who's not yet qualified for the Olympia.
Hey, that picture right there would be on my wall. So that's a
But
pretty
this
cool
guy's
picture.
really good, man.
Yeah,
He's
that's a
really, really underrated, I think.
let's see this.
Yeah, so this is his individual from that same show.
He's definitely a shorter guy, and he fills his frame out really well.
Yeah, he turned pro as a bodybuilder at Masters USA's, I think back in 2022.
How old? Oh, so he's a little bit older. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got good shape and good structure.
Yeah, just really balanced overall too. Like there's
Yeah,
nothing that sticks out to me as like this is a really strong or really weak body part, which can be really good too, you know. If you're just fundamentally like balanced, it's really, really hard to, look at a guy and be like, oh, that's not classic, you know. It's a very essential thing.
yeah. Because when you're balanced like that, I mean, even his legs, like his legs are pretty big. I mean, his legs are pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it flows well with his frame.
Yep. So that is Yosef Karimian. Next up, we got Alex Maldonado. So Alex made his pro debut at the Tampa Pro. So these are some photos from that. He was the highest placing pro debut at that show, actually. And I want to say he was like ninth place, which, I mean, if you saw that lineup was just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, it was ridiculous. That's a great pose on him. I'd like to
But
see him turn a little bit more on that one. That's a great pose too, because I feel like he's like so big from the front. That first pose is just nasty on him. If he turns a little bit more, that's a great pose. That's a good shot. He looks fantastic. This is his pro debut.
so Tampa this will be his
Yeah,
second pro show.
this was these pictures are his pro debut.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks great.
Crazy lower half, like like the glutes and hams,
The
some of
tie-in is
the
nuts.
wildest I've seen, dude.
God, his tie-in's ridiculous. Yeah, that symmetry and his posterior is really good. Could definitely get some more lats just because I mean his lower half's so strong. Like you're gonna have to just continue to get the back up because it's just like that lower half is powering over. That's a good pose for him. I can see that if this is his pro debut, I can see that eventually being a really, really strong shot for him because of how good his lower half is.
Yeah, it's just got crazy density, man. Just continuing to work on that width
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
and slapping
great
on
shape.
some muscle in certain areas. This guy's really, really got a bright future, I think.
That's what I was sitting here. When I saw his Instagram, I was like, I didn't realize it was his pro debut. If that's the case, this dude could be incredible in a few years. He's
Yeah,
got a great shape.
absolutely. So that is Alex Maldonado. Next up, we got Dion Merrill out of the Pittsburgh area, I believe. So I recognize the red wall. This is Powerhouse Gym Pittsburgh. And Dion looks like he's made some crazy, crazy improvements from, I think he debuted last year at Optimum. And he looks like he's added like a good 5-10 pounds of muscle at least.
Yeah, I saw those pictures from the last show last year, and he has definitely put some muscle on. Crazy outer sweep. His quads look nuts. Great midsection, super tight, good waist ratio. I like that front lat spread on him. Great chest, shoulders. Yeah, I mean his symmetry is nasty too. His legs look great.
Yeah, I gotta give him credit, man. As a taller guy with good legs, like
Yeah, really
that's
good
hard to
legs.
pull off.
Yeah, he's especially for a taller guy. The symmetry is definitely there. He's got that good classic look that I like, and that I think is like getting really popular with, especially with just the symmetry he has there, especially for being a taller guy. Because if you can fill that frame out as a taller guy, you have good chances of looking really good.
Absolutely. So that's Dion Merrill. Next up, we got Carlo Michelini out of Italy. So his last appearance was in Romania, I want to say, in 2021. But this guy's structure, man, that stands out to
Oh
me.
wow,
Look how small the waist is.
yeah, Look at that. Look at his lat. Yeah, his lat to waist ratio is crazy. Good legs too. A lot of lines there, and a lot of like actual like density and maturity there. Good
Yeah, that's
development.
the
Wow.
transformation.
Jeez, dude. Oh, that's a good one. That yeah, he's got great structure. Oh yeah, that shows it.
And, I mean, he's going to be peeled too. If this was 3.5 weeks out.
Oh man, he's gonna be diced. Oh, he's borderline in my top five from what I've seen so far. This dude looks good.
He looks great, man. I
Look
love
at
the
his
shape and
shoulders. Yeah, look at his
yeah,
on
the
that
delts are nuts
side.
too,
Yeah,
dude.
his rear delt was about to pop off. Look at that. Oh yeah, he's strong. He's good.
Yeah, this guy could give some people some trouble, man. I
Yeah,
definitely see it.
I think he could be in the top five for sure. He looks great from what I've seen so far. I mean, he's got a lot of development in his front shot from his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him showing up. He's got some strong poses. I'd say some of them could be a little improved on some, but I mean, I think that 90% of his poses are fantastic, and he looks really, really, really seasoned.
Yeah. I think he's a dark horse, man, for sure. I'm not making picks, but
He looks
I would
good.
definitely have him
I'll,
in
I'll
there.
say I'll say he looks good. I may not do an exact top five, but I'll go ahead and say that I'm guessing he's in that top
So
five.
that's Carlo Michelini. And our last competitor, this is Rob Van Sant. So uh, the reason why I'm not going to be making picks for this show is Rob and I have been working together, so been helping him with this contest prep. And I mean, Rob looks awesome. Like
Hey,
I'm
yeah,
really proud of what he's put together this prep because he's kind of knocking on the door. He's been typically like a second or third call out kind of guy. Had an eighth place at Pittsburgh last year, and the goal is just to bring in his best look, and I think we're gonna do that, man.
yeah, he looks really good, especially getting the second look at him for all the. I love his front double. It's a great shot, very classic. I like. He's kind of doing the half vacuum situation as well, which looks really good on him. Um, great, yeah. That shot. Let me see the other poses. Yeah, that's a good. That's a yeah.
We
That's
played around with the back double a little bit too. Um,
I like that shot on him a lot. He's got great structure to his back. With more size and density over the years, that shot right there might be his best shot. That's a really really good pose for him.
yeah,
Yeah, he looks great.
yep. So that is
He looks
Robin.
like a little bit of a dark horse as well. I mean, shows up with the right condition and stuff. That back double and front double and side chest are strong.
Hmm. Yeah, and he's pretty flat in these photos right here
Yeah,
too. So
yeah, you can tell,
that's what we keep in mind.
that's a good thing though. I mean, you look
Yeah.
that good while you're flat hitting those poses. That's a good sign. I mean, you got to get flat to get fat free. So
Yep. You know it. So
yeah,
that is
all too well, all too well, all too well.
and that's our full classic physique lineup, guys. So now for the picks. So like I said, I won't be making picks just to keep things professional. But we do have Jordan here. Now, Jordan, since you're the guest and you're the only one making picks, I see here. Any particular way you want to go about this?
Let me
Because you
see.
could do anything, man. You could do first call out. You could do top five. You can just pick a winner, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
so
do,
I,
brother.
I definitely, I definitely like. What was the guy who you showed me pictures of him at the Arnold?
Oh, that's Jason.
Yeah, Jason is top three. Jason's top three from what I've seen in these pictures and what he looks like in those updates. I don't see him not being top three. That dude's just. Let me see the back shot. Yeah, I wish I could see more. The only thing that concerns me as far as like a prediction is he's like posting a lot of those poses specifically. So what does his other shots look like? I see like that's yeah. Look at his hamstrings.
Not
Dug out. Any more on those?
let's see. The ab and thigh.
Yeah, quads are crazy. I mean, he looks really good. This is such like a the physiques are just kind of like all very different going into the show. That's him winning. Oh, so he was second.
So you got, yeah, second Black Panther won this show.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he looks good. He looks really good. I'd see him in the mix. Jared Crew, man, I mean, he looked good. I again, I don't think the updates do him justice for what he looks like in person. His updates look good right here, but I think in person he looks even better. And again, he's a good poser, and I can guarantee you, as much fun as that man had in Atlanta, he's definitely improved since then and worked on everything else since. So I don't think he's necessarily going to be one of the bigger guys, but he is taller and he does fill out his frame pretty well for not being like so big. But his shape and structure really plays a good role in that. And I also really like one of the second to last guys you showed me. Can't remember which one. Yes,
Carlo.
he looks fantastic, man. He looks good. He's got some really strong poses. I can't tell how big he is, and obviously that plays a role, but you go for structure, conditioning, density, strong poses. I mean, like, look at that shot right there. It's great. I mean, you use a little bit more on the inner from the back, but most of that man's poses are really, really good. I could see those three definitely in that top five. We went over a lot of people. It's hard to make predictions. I wish I knew everybody by
You can
name.
keep it at 3 if you want.
I'll put it this way. I think those three guys are going to be in the mix. I'll put it that way. There you go. Again, though, it's a very diverse lineup, which I really like. Sorry, it's a very diverse lineup, which is what I really like about shows like this. You got a lot of people that could be dark horses and just kind of come in and just show up and absolutely kill it. And that's my favorite kind of bodybuilding shows to watch. You know what I mean? Like where you have so many of those guys that are right there, and then they have this opportunity to do really, really well because you don't have a lot of like Olympian. You don't. I don't think we have any Olympians in this, do we? Maybe one.
Yeah, we got Jason, and I think Jason's it, or Jason
Yeah,
and Jack.
yeah, yeah, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I like that. You know what I mean? Like I like that because that's guys getting their opportunity and getting their shot, and you get to really see where you mix among your peers, if that makes sense. Like I like getting to see, like you go into a show and you got 10 Olympians doing it. It's kind of hard for maybe your first one, two, three shows to measure where you're really at going against 10 Olympians. But you go into a show like this where everyone's good, but no one's necessarily at that level, at the Olympian level yet. That's a fun show, and that's where people really get to go battle. So I'm excited to see this one. This is the show that I had planned and thought about doing, and unfortunately was advised and just had to stop and made the hard decision of going into an off season, just make sure my health is right and everything. And but this looks like a cool show, and like you said, I think this is the first year of this one, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think it's going to be a good lineup. It's definitely going to be a good show, and it's like I said, it's going to be a bunch of guys trying to, prove themselves, which is best shows to watch.
Absolutely, brother. And before we wrap up the coverage, again, just want to thank Jordan for taking the time out of his day to just talk some bodybuilding. Make sure you guys go show him some love, give him a follow. His tag is JStrickFitness. Make sure you guys use his codes for EHP Labs as well as Jed North. And before we get out of here, Jordan, just want to make sure that you have the floor. Anything you want to say to the athletes?
Oh, good. Just good luck this weekend. It's been a really awesome year of competing for everybody. It's always bittersweet ending your competition season and going into an off season, and then because it's like when we're on prep, we crave the off season, and then when we're in the off season, we crave prep. So it's a vicious cycle of bodybuilding. But good luck to everybody this weekend. Thank you for having me, man. I love this sport. I love talking about it, and I love learning more about it every day. Being able to be a full-time coach in the business for the last 10 years has been awesome, and it's really allowed me to network like me and you were talking about, meet really awesome people, and really just get a lot more versed in it. And I just can't wait for the future and more opportunities like this, and just getting to learn and talk more about bodybuilding.
Absolutely, brother. Great way to put it. So, before we wrap things up, I want to make sure to remind you guys to like, comment, and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Covering classic every single week, trying to cover every single show to give you guys the previews, the highlights, you name it. Follow me on Instagram, CPC Bodybuilding. Follow Jordan, J Strick Fitness. But that's going to do it. Make sure you guys keep it classic. We'll see you later.
I love that. Keep it classic.